Shocked me. You shocked your ear. Static. Did that hurt your ear?
Pet echo and it zapped him. Zapped him.
What are you doing? And I'm striking and can't let you go into the abyss with no. Hey, go lay down. I'll pet you in a little while. Your hair's falling out everywhere.
Need to brush you.
You need a brush. What do you want from me? You want attention? You want some attention? You got food out there on the floor. You freaking can't eat your food without getting it all over the floor. There's a whole pile behind your bowl. You need to eat that. You're too lazy. You're getting too old.
He doesn't even stand up and eat. He just lays down and goes and flicks it all out. All right. All right. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Mosman just sent me the thumbnail for Numbers. I like it. I had started working on one, but his is better. So I'm going to use it. What do we got today? Leviticus 23 through 27. We're going to finish Leviticus today. I think it's 5 chapters. 5 chapters. I'm starting a little late. So we're just going to quickly... Oh, it's only a couple pages. It's kind of a grip of pages, actually. Numbers actually 27. Only 27 chapters. We're on 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. It's 5 chapters. They're kind of long chapters, though. Numbers is more than just the census. It's the whole journey, the 40 years in the desert, and the organization of the tribes of Israel, how they organize and prepare for battles and stuff. And Balaam's donkey. So there's some good stuff in Leviticus. And Moses getting angry. So Numbers is actually going to be pretty interesting. But we need to finish up Leviticus. So we're going to get... Let me see this. I think I'm getting a cavity in my tooth. I feel sensitive. Anyway, yeah. Leviticus 23. Go lay in the... If you're hot and you're panting, go lay in the other room. It's cooler in there. The air's on. I always turn the heater on before I leave for work. When I wake up, I turn the heater on because it's cold. I like to sleep in the cold, but when I wake up, I got to get it warm quick. I turned the heat on, and then I forgot to turn it off before I left. So Echo was in a sauna all night. But he's all right. Now he just wants attention. I know when you're panting like that, you just want attention, bud. Okay, today we have ritual feasts, special days in chapter 23, the oil and the bread in chapter 24, God's name also in chapter 24, the Sabbath in the year of Jubilee. That's when your debts are forgiven, chapter 25, and then the call to covenant faithfulness, chapter 26 and 27. So let's get started on this. Let me see. I can't see my chat. There it is. All right. Let's get started on this. Chapter 23. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, concerning the feasts of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, not consecrations, convocations. Even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings. These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. What's a convocation? Convocation. Probably the same as a consecration. Convocation. A large assembly of people, an action of calling people together for a large formal assembly. Or a feast. These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. In the 14th day of the first month at even is the Lord's Passover. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread. Unto the Lord 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread. And the first day ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord 7 days. And the seventh day is an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. And the Lord spake to Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye come into the land which I give unto you, and shall reap the harvest thereof, then ye shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest unto the priest, and he shall wave the sheaf before the Lord to be accepted for you. On the morrow after the Sabbath the priest shall wave it. And ye shall offer that day, when ye wave the sheaf, an he lamb without blemish of the first year for a burnt offering unto the Lord. And the meat offering thereof shall be 2/10 deals of fine flour mingled with oil, an offering made by fire unto the Lord for a sweet savor. And the drink offering thereof shall be of wine, the fourth part of an hin. The fourth part of an hin. How much is a hin? Is a measurement. I know it's a measurement, but I think it's a very tiny bit. Hin. A Hebrew unit of liquid equal to approximately 5 quarts. Quarts. 5 quarts. 5 liters. 5 liters. Not per person. A fourth part of a hin. So about a liter. Still. Is that 1 liter for... It would be like 1.25 liters. It'd be like something like that. Not per person. That's a lot of wine per person. Fourth part of a hin. And ye shall eat neither bread nor parched corn nor green ears until the selfsame day that ye have brought an offering unto your God. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. And ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that ye brought the sheaf of the wave offering, 7 Sabbaths shall be complete. Even unto the morrow after the 7th Sabbath shall ye number 50 days, and ye shall offer a new meat offering unto the Lord. Ye shall bring out of your habitations 2 wave loaves of 2/10 deals. That's another measurement. They shall be of fine flour, they shall be baken with leaven. They are the first fruits unto the Lord. And you shall offer with the bread 7 lambs without blemish of the first year, and 1 young bullock, and 2 rams. They shall be for a burnt offering unto the Lord, with their meat offering and their drink offering, even an offering made by fire of sweet savor unto the Lord. Then ye shall sacrifice 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, and 2 lambs of the first year for a sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall wave them with the bread of the firstfruits for a wave offering before the Lord. With the 2 lambs they shall be holy to the Lord for the priest. And ye shall proclaim on the selfsame day, that it may be an holy convocation unto you. Ye shall do no servile work therein, It shall be a statute forever in all your dwellings throughout your generations. And when ye reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not make clean riddance of the corners of thy field when thou reapest. Neither shalt thou gather any gleaning of thy harvest. Thou shalt leave them unto the poor and to the stranger. I am the Lord your God. So leave a bit of your crop for the poor people. That's based. And the sojourner. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the 7th month, in the first day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpets and holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Also on the 10th day of this 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement. It shall be an holy convocation unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls, and offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And ye shall do no work in that same day, for it is the day of atonement, to make an atonement for you before the Lord your God. For whatsoever soul it be that shall not be afflicted in that same day, he shall be cut off from among his people. And whatsoever soul it be that doeth any work in that same day, the same soul will I destroy from among his people. Ye shall do no manner of work. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. It shall be unto you a Sabbath of rest, and ye shall afflict your souls. It's very repetitive. In the 9th day of the month at even, from even unto even. At even, from even unto even. From nighttime, start at nighttime, and you go till the next night. Shall you celebrate your Sabbath? And Jews still do this, where they fast and they don't use technology or shouldn't be doing work or anything like that. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, The 15th day of this 7th month shall be the feast of the tabernacles for 7 days unto the Lord. I have a sneeze coming too. My Gatorade went down the wrong pipe. For 7 days unto the Lord. On the first day, this is verse 35. On the first day shall be in holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. 7 days ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. On the 8th day shall be in holy convocation unto you, and ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. It is a solemn assembly, and ye shall do no servile work therein. These are the feasts of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, to offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord, a burnt offering and a meat offering, a sacrifice and drink offerings, everything upon his day. Okay. Beside the Sabbaths of the Lord, and beside your gifts, and beside all your vows, and beside all your free will offerings, which ye give unto the Lord, also in the 15th day of the 7th month, when ye have gathered in the fruit of the land, ye shall keep a feast unto the Lord 7 days. On the first day shall be a Sabbath, and on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath. What up, David? Evening. Well, yeah, it is kind of my evening. This is my nighttime. I'm tired, ready for bed. And ye shall take ye on the first day the boughs of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, and the boughs of thick trees and willows of the brook, and ye shall rejoice before the Lord your God 7 days. And ye shall keep it a feast unto the Lord 7 days in the year. It shall be a statute forever in your generations. Ye shall celebrate it in the 7th month. Ye shall dwell in booths 7 days. This is kind of like how we have Easter, Christmas, dinner time. No issues, I hope, today. Leakage is bad. I don't think we're going to have any of that today. But I think it's going to be kind of slow and repetitive today, because we're back to the ritual stuff. And then the call to covenant faithfulness. rewards and consequences, that might be interesting. That dwell in your booths, that your generations may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. And Moses declared unto the children of Israel the feasts of the Lord. That's chapter 23. What does he mean by booths? Dwell in booths. Oh my gosh, my arms are sore. Oh. I've started doubling down on leg days twice a week because I'm noticing I'm starting to look like one of those guys whose upper body is way too big for his lower body. My legs are like skinny chicken legs and my upper body's getting bigger. So I'm doing leg days twice, but today was like a mix-up day. Because I do chest and shoulders one day. Then I do back, bis, and tris another day. Then I do legs the third day. And then the fourth day, I kind of mix it up. And I'll do chest a second time in the week. And I'll do other little things, just little machines I don't use as much and stuff I don't use as much. Weird stuff. And deadlifts. Deadlift, I kind of give it its own day, but my legs for me on Monday. My arms are sore today from doing instead of doing the bench, I was doing the supine bench. Instead of doing the bench press, it's you hold it sideways and it goes up and comes together. It's like weights on a thing. But I can put a lot more weight on it because when I bench, I don't have a spot, so I don't go too crazy. I'm not trying to look like a fool and drop it on myself. But on this thing, I can't drop it on myself, so I put a lot more weight on it. My arms are sore. What am I looking for? Booths. I'm guessing it means like the types of houses that they live in. Borrower, bottom bow, botch, Boser, born, PQR. Booths, house and made for his cattle. Ye shall dwell in 7 days. Leviticus 22, 5521. Yeah, it's just a type of house. Is what I'm guessing. 5521. Five, 4, 6. 5521 is a sukkah. Sukkah. A hut or a lair. A cottage. A covert. A pavilion. A tabernacle. A tent. That's what I figured. Just wanted to make sure. Need to do more upper chest. Yeah, my chest is probably the strongest, most developed part. I gotta work on my legs. I almost did the glute machine today because I never do. I see the girls doing hip thrusts where they put a bench behind them on their back and they put the bar on their thing and they do the hip thrusts. Dude, there's this girl there that does like hip thrusts with like 400 pounds on it. I'm like, dang, she doesn't do anything else. All she does is legs, stair machine, hip thrusts. And I will tell you, a certain area of her body is very pronounced, we could say. And I'm like, that's abnormal. Like, this girl weighs like 90 pounds, and it's all concentrated to one area. And she's doing hip thrusts. They're like 5 times her body weight. And I'm like, what? Anyway, I'm not gonna get on the rack and like do hip thrusts like the girls do, but they got a glute machine that's basically hip thrusts. And I was gonna try it today, but there were like all these girls standing around in that area because it's like the butt area. You know, it's the thing now. And I walked over there and I looked at it and I looked around and I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not getting on this machine. Oh, you know, in the machine where there's a girl instead of a guy where it shows you which muscles it works. I was like, I'm not doing this machine. No, no, no. Not unless I'm the only guy in here. I'm not doing this female exercise. I'll just stick to deadlifts and squats and lunges. But I'm trying to strengthen my legs, my base, you know? Anyway, I digress. Chapter 24. Chapter 24 is the oil and the bread. Let's find out what that means. When I squatted, my waist is 31. I need to read Dean's messages silently before I read them out loud. Only 5'11"? That's not short. What do you mean only 5'11"? I had to buy pants with 42 waist to fit my thighs, and my waist was 34 at the time. Yeah, see, I gotta work on my squats and I do the leg the leg press where you sit down in it and you put your legs up. And I could do a lot on that, but then when I squat, my squats aren't as much. But now they have like a squat machine where it goes on it's new. It's a machine and you kind of lay at an angle and you can do squats on that. But I just don't like pushing it because I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't have a spot. I'm not going to ask somebody to spot me. I don't want to like put too much on there. I'm trying to like build strength and do low number of reps. Just like 4 reps. But anyway. Okay, chapter 24. And the Lord spake to Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel that they bring unto thee pure oil olive, beaten for the light, to cause the lamps to burn continually. Without the veil of the testimony in the tabernacle of the congregation shall Aaron order it from the evening unto the morning before the Lord continually. It shall be a statute forever in your generations. He shall order the lamps upon the pure candlestick before the Lord continually. And thou shalt take fine flour and bake 12 cakes thereof. 2/10 deals shall be in 1 cake. Deals is another measurement. And thou shalt set them in 2 rows, 6 on a row, upon the pure table before the Lord. And thou shalt put pure frankincense upon each row, that it may be on the bread for a memorial, even an offering made by fire unto the Lord. See, so frankincense is not a strange incense. Because when I was looking into the strange incenses, it mentioned frankincense. That's not a strange incense. They're allowed to burn that. The strange fire came from something else. Every Sabbath he shall set it in order before the Lord continually, being taken from the children of Israel by an everlasting covenant. And it shall be Aaron's and his sons, and they shall eat it in the holy place. For it is the most holy unto him of the offerings of the Lord made by fire, by a perpetual statute. And the sons of an Israelitish woman, whose father was an Egyptian, went out among the children of Israel. And this son of the Israelitish woman and a man of Israel strove together in the camp. And the Israelitish woman's son blasphemed the name of the Lord and cursed. And they brought him unto Moses, and his mother's name was Shelomith, the daughter of Debri of the tribe of Dan. And they put him in ward, that the mind of the Lord might be showed them. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Bring forth him that hath cursed without the camp, and let all that heard him lay their hands upon his head, and let all the congregation stone him for cursing the Lord. And thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel, saying, Whosoever curseth his God shall bear his sin. And he that blasphemeth the name of the Lord, he shall surely be put to death. And all the congregation shall certainly stone him, as well the stranger as he that is born in the land, as well the stranger as he that is born in the land. When he blasphemeth the name of the Lord, shall he be put to death. And he that killeth any man shall surely be put to death. Well, unless you're killing him for blaspheming, I guess. And he that killeth a beast shall make it good, beast for beast. And if a man cause blemish in his neighbor, as he hath done, so shall it be done to him. Breach for breach, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, as he hath cursed, as he hath caused a blemish to a man, so shall it be done to him again. Who was saying that eye for eye was just, James was saying an eye for eye, tooth for tooth is just for slaves. No, it's repeated multiple times throughout Mosaic law. It's not just for slaves. And he that killeth a beast, he shall restore it, and he that killeth a man, he shall be put to death. Ye shall have one manner of law, as well for the stranger as for one of your own country, for I am the Lord your God. And Moses spake to the children of Israel that they should bring forth him that had cursed out of the camp, and stone him with stones. And the children of Israel did as the Lord commanded Moses. So don't blaspheme God. Not a good idea. I hate leg work. My legs and glutes grow like crazy. Mine are the opposite. Like they just stay skinny. Whatever you do, don't use steroids. I'm not going to use steroids. Yeah, I've never used steroids. I don't plan on it. I use protein and creatine. Chapter 25. Chapter 25 is... Oh, wait. So the oil in the bread was the first part of 24, and then God's name, cursing God's name, and the punishment for it was the second half of 24, which we just read. Chapter 25 is talking about the Sabbath year and the year of Jubilee. Sabbath is very important. It's clear that the Sabbath is very important. Don't blaspheme on leg day or any day. That's right. That's right. And don't blaspheme leg day. Got it. Don't skip leg day. What up, Mosman? Hey, that meme that you posted in the Discord of Luther, did you make that? Is that what he really looks like? Because he looks like you, kind of. You know, are you related to Martin Luther? You guys look kind of similar. And thank you for the thumbnail. I like it. I'll definitely use it. We're going to do... I totally forgot that Numbers had the whole wandering through the desert for 40 years and Balaam's donkey, Balaam's ass, the talking donkey. So there is some cool stuff in Numbers. It's just the census is only like one chapter in the beginning and one chapter, I think it's like chapter 24 or something. But I have distant relations. Yeah, I see a family resemblance. That's good lineage there. And the Lord spake unto... Okay, this is chapter 25, Sabbath year. More Sabbath stuff. Gotta rest on the Sabbath. And the Lord spake to Moses... and the Lord spake unto Moses in Mount Sinai, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel. Now, are we going back? Or is Moses going back up to... Because it says... That thing we read a while ago said that it's believed he could have made as many as 8 trips up to Mount Sinai. As little as 3 trips, as many as 8. So this could be a later trip, or we could be going backwards. And the Lord spake unto Moses in Mount Sinai, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye come into the land which I give you, then shall the land keep a Sabbath unto the Lord. 6 years thou shalt sow thy field, and 6 years thou shalt prune thy vineyard, and gather in the fruit thereof. But in the 7th year shall be a Sabbath of rest unto the land, a Sabbath for the Lord. Thou shalt neither sow thy field nor prune thy vineyard. God's teaching them about crop rotation, about soil nutrient depletion before they even knew what that was. He was not a handsome man. Well, I wasn't saying all that, but verse 6, that which groweth of its own accord of thy harvest thou shalt not reap, neither gather the grapes of thy vine undressed, for it is a year of rest unto the land. Dude, God's teaching them about soil nutrient depletion. You can't let your nutrients deplete. And the Sabbath of the land shall be meat for you, for thee, and for thy servant, and for thy maid, and for thy hired servant, and for the stranger that sojourneth with thee, and for thy cattle, and for the beasts that are in thy land, shall all the increase thereof be met. Oh, yeah, speaking of, it's so crazy. Yesterday, we were talking about Leviticus 19:19, about like immigration and stuff like that. And I watched John Doyle yesterday released a video of him going to an immigration protest in Texas. And the girl brought it up. She brought it up. She's like, in Leviticus 19:19, it says, you were strangers in this land, so don't vex the immigrant. Of course, she didn't say it like, Echo, what are you doing, bro? You're breathing so loud. What do you want? Sometimes when he does this, he's sick. And he's going to like doo-doo on my carpet. Are you okay? You just got static shocked twice on your nose. How'd that feel? I felt it on my finger. I bet it was worse for you. You got zapped on your nose. It's because you're so furry. You're staticky. You're staticky, Echo. Bud. What? Are you sick? Yeah, he's got tummy problems right now. I'm gonna have to take him out again when I'm done. I already took him out once, and he had a little bit of the Hershey squirts. And when he's breathing like this, and he's not leaving me alone, he's gotta. We'll go after I'm done. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like that. Are you about to throw up on my carpet? If you're gonna throw up, go in the wood. It's easier to clean. Yeah, I know. You're not feeling good. He's got a sensitive stomach. Is there a lineage? No, not Martin Luther King. Martin Luther. Okay. The cattle, the beast are in the land. Shall number 7 Sabbaths, and thou shalt number 7 Sabbaths of years unto thee 7 times 7 years. And the space of the 7 Sabbaths of years shall be unto thee 49 years. And thou shalt cause the trumpet of the Jubilee to sound on the 10th day of the 7th month in the day of atonement. Shall ye make the trumpet sound throughout all your land. And if ye hallow the 50th year, and proclaim liberty throughout all the land unto all the inhabitants thereof, it shall be a jubilee unto you, and ye shall return every man unto his possession, and ye shall return every man unto his family. So you release all the slaves in the year of Jubilee. And a jubilee shall that 50th year be unto you. You shall not sow, neither reap that which groweth of itself in it, nor gather the grapes in it of thy vine undressed. For it is the Jubilee, it shall be holy unto you. Ye shall eat the increase thereof out of the field. In the year of this Jubilee, ye shall return every man unto his possession. Look at that. Look at that. They even release the slaves every 50 years. That's not that bad. Imagine you're there for like 48 years, and then they're like, all right, we're about to start this trek through the desert. And you're in the desert for 40 years. That would suck. If thou sell, if thou, s- ah, and if thou sell aught unto thy neighbor, or buyest aught of thy neighbor's hand, ye shall not oppress one another. According to the number of years after the Jubilee, thou shalt buy of thy neighbor, and according unto the number of years of the fruits he shall sell unto thee. According to the multitude of years, thou shalt increase the price thereof, and according to the fewness of years, thou shalt diminish the price of it. For according to the number of the years of the fruits doth he sell unto thee. Inflation. Ye shall not therefore oppress one another, but thou shalt fear thy God, for I am the Lord your God. They say your credit resets every 7 years too. If you have bad credit and then you just don't do anything with credit for 7 years, it like resets. And I think that's true. It's happened to me like 3 times. I don't really believe in credit. I don't do anything with credit because every time I get credit, I ruin it, and then I got to wait 7 years to get credit again. Probably due for I could probably get a credit card now. It's probably been more than 7 years, but I'm all right. I'm all right. Ye shall not therefore oppress one another. Blah, blah, blah. Wherefore ye shall do my statutes and keep my judgments and do them, and ye shall dwell in the land in safety. And the land shall yield her fruit, and ye shall eat your fill, and dwell therein in safety. Echo, you gotta go out there. I'm gonna take you. Go out there. Go out. Go. You're breathing way too loud, bud. I know you're not feeling good. I know. Now you're gonna sit right there. That's not any better. Okay. And if ye shall, what shall we eat the 7th year? Behold, we shall not sow nor gather in our increase. Then I will command my blessing upon you in the 6th year, and it shall bring forth fruit for 3 years. And ye shall sow the 8th year, and eat yet of old fruit until the 9th year. Until her fruits come in, ye shall eat of the old store. The land shall not be sold forever. The land is mine. For ye are strangers and sojourners with me. And in all the land of your possessions ye shall grant a redemption for the land. So we're strangers in God's land. If thy brother be waxen poor and have sold away some of his possessions, and if any of his kin come to redeem it, then shall he redeem that which his brother sold. And if a man have none to redeem it, and himself be able to redeem it, then let him count the years of the sale thereof, and restore the overplus unto the man to whom he sold it, that he may return unto his possession. This is all just about the year of Jubilee. Any debts are paid, slaves are returned, all that stuff. But if he be not able to restore it to him, then that which is sold shall remain in the hand of him that hath bought it until the year of Jubilee. And in the Jubilee it shall go out, and he shall return unto his possession. And if a man sell a dwelling house in a walled city, then he may redeem it within a whole year after it is sold. Within a full year may he redeem it. And if it be not redeemed within the space of a full year, then the house that is in the walled city shall be established forever to him that bought it. Throughout his generations it shall not go out in the Jubilee. But the house of the villages which have no wall round about them shall be counted as the fields of the country. They may be redeemed, and they shall go out in the Jubilee. Notwithstanding, the cities of the Levites and the houses of the cities of their possession may the Levites redeem at any time. And if a man purchase of the Levites, then the house that was sold and the city of his possession shall go out in the year of Jubilee. For the houses of the cities of the Levites are their possession among the children of Israel. But the field of the suburbs of their cities, may not be sold, for it is their perpetual possessions. What up, Robert? Uh, 26 and 27. Okay. And if thy brother be waxen poor, this is a slow chapter. And if the brother be waxen poor and fallen in decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve him, yea, though he be a stranger or a sojourner, that he may live with thee. Take thou no usury of him or increase, but fear thy God, that thy brother may live with thee. No usury. Certain group of people was not paying attention to their Torah. Thou shalt not give him thy money upon usury, nor lend him thy victuals for increase. Oh, look at that. Interest, paying interest on debt, not of God. I am the Lord your God, which brought you forth out of the land of Egypt, to give you the land of Canaan, and to be your God. And if thy brother that dwelleth by thee be waxen poor, and be sold unto thee, thou shalt not compel him to serve as a bondservant, but as an hired servant, and as a sojourner he shall be with thee, and shall serve thee unto the year of Jubilee. So, okay, so if your brother, so that's specifically Israelites. You can't force them to be a bondservant, but you can make them a hired servant. My elbow is still screwed up. It makes it hard to curl with this arm. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know if it's just bruised really bad, if I hit it on something, or if I like pulled a tendon or something, but right in here, it hurts. It's been hurting for like 2 weeks. It's not going away. But as a hired servant and as a sojourner, he shall be with thee. He shall serve thee unto the year of Jubilee, and then shall he depart from thee, both he and his children with him, and shall return unto his own family, and unto the possessions of his brothers shall he return. For they are my servants, which I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. They shall not be sold as bondmen. Thou shalt not rule over him with rigor, but shalt fear thy God. Both thy bondsmen and thy bondsmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen that are round about you, and them shall ye buy bondmen and bondsmaids. So see, when people say the reason they were buying Israelites, they would buy Israelite slaves from the heathen who were outside so that they could set them free 7 years later. They wouldn't buy Israelites from other Israelites. They weren't allowed to sell Israelites to other Israelites. They weren't allowed to sell their brother. But they would buy heathen slaves from, the places around them. Both thy bondsmen and thy bondsmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen. Heathen means earth, of the earth, people of the earth, meaning the pagans and the other Canaanites and the Amalekites and the Egyptians. Those are heathens, the pagans. The heath is the earth. Heathens are people of the world, people of the earth, people who be worshiping Gaia and stuff like that. Moreover, of the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you, of them shall ye buy, and of their families that are with you, which they begat in your land, and they shall be your possession. Yeah, see, so a lot of people don't realize this stuff's in here, and they so I could see why, if you think that slavery is just inherently evil, it's always evil, there's never a just reason to have slavery. If you believe that, and then you read some of this stuff, it will make you turn away from God. It's better to just recognize it for what it is, which is just a part of life. We're all slaves in one way or another to somebody or something at some time. It's not always immoral. And you shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them for a possession. They shall be your bondmen forever. But over your brethren, the children of Israel, ye shall not rule one over another with rigor. I'll hear people say that the Bible doesn't ever justify slavery. The Bible, it never does that. Now, you could argue, well, this is Old Testament, this is Old Covenant stuff. And that's a good argument, but it definitely does. Gives like lots of instructions about slavery of not just of the Israelites, but of the heathens and everybody. And a lot of people have a tough time with that, which I get it. They've been trained to think a certain way about it, so they can't see it any other way. And if a sojourner or a stranger wax rich by thee, and thy brother that dwelleth by him wax poor, and selleth himself unto the stranger or sojourner by thee, or to the stock of the stranger's family, after that he is sold, he may be redeemed again. One of his brethren may redeem him. Either his uncle or his uncle's son may redeem him, or any that is nigh of kin unto him of his family may redeem him. Or if he is able, he may redeem himself. And he shall reckon with him that bought him from the year that he was sold to him unto the year of Jubilee. And the price of his sale shall be according unto the number of years, according to the time of the hired servant shall it be with him. If there be yet many years behind, according unto them, he shall give again the price of his redemption out of the money that he was bought for. And if there remain but few years unto the year of Jubilee, then he shall count with him, and according unto his years shall he give him again the price of his redemption. And as a yearly, so it's like interest. The farther you are from the year of Jubilee, the more you have to pay to be bought out of slavery. The closer, the less you have to pay. And as a yearly hired servant shall he be with him, and the others shall not rule with rigor over him in thy sight. So you don't treat them badly. You don't rule with rigor over them. You treat them right. And if he be not redeemed in these years, then he shall go out in the year of Jubilee, both he and his children with him. So see, you do get to be freed in the year of Jubilee with your children. For unto me the children of Israel are servants. They are my servants whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. So even if you're not a slave, you're still a slave. We're slaves to God. We're slaves to good, or we're slaves to evil. I'm at work and I hate it. You're a slave, Rob. All right. Last two chapters are the call to covenant faithfulness. So 26 is rewards and consequences. 27 is redeeming people and property. So 27 is going to sound a lot like that chapter we just read. 26 rewards and consequences. This should be interesting. So let's just keep going. I got to wrap this up quick because Echo is sick. I can tell he's going to go on the floor if I don't hurry up. So, all right. Chapter 26. You shall make no idols nor graven image, neither rear you up a standing image, neither shall ye set up any image of stone in your land to bow down unto it, for I am the Lord your God. Ye shall keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary. I am the Lord. If ye walk in my statutes and keep my commandments and do them, then I will give you rain in due season, and the land shall yield her increase, and the trees of the field shall yield her fruits. And your threshing shall reach unto the vintage, and the vintage shall reach unto the sowing time. And ye shall eat your bread to the full, and dwell in your land safely. Look at that. So see, it's almost like when lots of crazy natural disasters are happening, and there's droughts, and there's pestilence and disease and all this stuff going around, that maybe it's a sign that the people aren't doing right. I'm with it. And I will give peace in the land, and ye shall lie down, and none shall make you afraid. And I will rid evil beasts out of the land, neither shall the sword go through your land. So war, plagues, famine, natural disasters, droughts, all of these things are a result of disobedience to the Lord. And ye shall chase your enemies, and they shall fall before you by the sword. And 5 of you shall chase 100, and 100 of you shall put 10,000 to flight, and your enemies shall fall before you by the sword. For I will have respect unto you, and make you fruitful, and multiply you, and establish my covenant with you. And ye shall eat old store, and bring forth old, because of the new. Nice. I like that. I like all of this. I like this whole chapter so far. I will have respect unto you and make you fruitful and multiply, establish my covenant with you. Hey, thank you, Rob. Thank you for letting us see the top of the chair. Oh, yeah. Chair's always there. Chair's always there. Thank you, sir, for the super chat. You're really you're paying me back what you got back from none of the memberships going through the other night. That's my money, and I need it now. No, but thank you. I appreciate it. And I will set my tabernacle among you, and my soul shall not abhor you. And I will walk among you, and will be your God, and you shall be my people. I am the Lord your God, which brought you forth out of the land of Egypt, that ye should not be their bondsmen. And I have broken the bands of your yoke, and made you go upright. But if ye will not hearken unto me, and will not do all these commandments, and if ye shall despise my statutes, or if your soul abhor my judgments, so that ye will not do all my commandments, but that ye break my covenant, I will also do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror, consumption, and the burning ague, A-G-U-E. How do you pronounce that? A-G-U-E. Ague. Malaria or some other illness involving fever and shivering. A fever and shivering fit. Yep. So disease. I will set my face against you, appoint over you terror, consumption, and the burning ague that shall consume the eyes and cause sorrow of heart. And ye shall sow your seed in vain, for your enemies shall eat it. Whoa. God ain't playing. If you despise my statutes, or if your soul abhor my judgments, so that ye will not do all my commandments, but that ye break my covenant, I will also do this unto you. I will appoint over you terror, consumption, and the burning ague that shall consume the eyes and cause sorrow of heart. And ye shall sow your seed in vain, for your enemies shall eat it. And I will set my face against you, and ye shall be slain before your enemies. They that hate you shall reign over you, and ye shall flee when none pursueth you. I've heard that before. You shall flee when none pursue. And if you will not yet for all this hearken unto me, then I will punish you 7 times more for your sins. And I will break the pride of your power, and I will make your heaven as iron and your earth as brass. Heaven as iron and earth as brass. Heaven is iron, earth is brass. I will break down your stubborn pride. I will break the pride of your power. I will make your heaven as iron and your earth as brass. I'm trying to see, what is brass symbolic of? What's the meaning of the expression 26:19? I don't want to look at Korah. Bible Hub's not helping me. Let's put meaning. Yeah. Most commonly found in Leviticus 26:19, and it's also in Deuteronomy 28:23, which signifies a state of extreme hardship and barrenness, where the sky will be unyielding like iron, which means no rain, and the ground will be hard and unproductive like brass, representing God's curse on a disobedient people due to their skin. Iron and brass are hard metals, symbolizing a lack of fertility and sustenance. Iron heaven implies a sky that withholds rain and blessings, leaving the land dry and parched. Earth as brass represents ground that is unproductive and unable to yield crops. Wow. And your strength shall be spent in vain, for your land shall not yield her increase, neither shall the trees of the land yield their fruits. And if you walk contrary unto me, and will not hearken unto me, I will bring 7 times more plagues upon you according to your sins. I will also send wild beasts among you, which shall rob you of your children, and destroy your cattle, and make you few in number. Your highways shall be desolate. Dang. We see this. We see this in the world. And if you will not be reformed by me, by these things, but will walk contrary unto me, then will I also walk contrary unto you, and will punish you yet 7 times for your sins. And I will bring a sword unto you that shall avenge the quarrel of my covenant. And when ye are gathered together within your cities, I will send the pestilence among you, and ye shall be delivered into the hand of the enemy. And when I have broken the staff of your bread, 10 women shall bake your bread in one oven, and they shall deliver you your bread again by weight. The staff of your bread. And ye shall eat and not be satisfied. 10 women shall bake your bread in one oven, and they shall deliver you your bread again by weight, and ye shall eat and not be satisfied. 10 women shall bake your bread in one oven. Leviticus 26:26. Leviticus 26:26. I get the you shall eat and not be satisfied part, but wonder what the significance of 10 women baking in one oven means. Footnotes. This does not help me. United States Conference of Catholic Bishops. Bible Gateway is not helping me. Here we go. Let's read Cambridge Bible Study, Keel and DeLitch. The Benson Commentary. By sending a famine or scarcity of bread, which is the staff and support of man's present life, 10 women, that is 10 or many families, for the women took care of the bread and food for all the family, by weight, this is a sign and consequence both of famine and of the baking of bread of several families together in one oven. Oh, so they have because the women are known for baking the bread, but they have so little food that 10 families could bake all of their bread for their families in one oven. And when you eat it, you're not satisfied because there's not enough of it. Wherein each family took care to weigh their bread and to receive the same proportion which they put in. So there'd be so little food that 10 families' bread portions could be cooked in one oven, and they would all have to weigh their bread before they cooked it so that when they took it out, they made sure they got the same weight or the proper way out, the proper portion out. So you have to be stingy with your bread. Whereas in times of um, plenty, everybody can cook their bread in their own oven, and nobody's concerned with weighing the bread. You cook what your family wants to eat, and you eat, and you're full, and you're happy. You know, you have plenty. You don't have to worry about it. But in times of famine, 10 families' bread could be cooked in one oven, and everybody would be careful to weigh what they put in because they had to portion it out and ration it and make sure that they're getting exactly what they put in out, because people are sharing one oven, and doesn't matter, when you eat it, you're not going to be satisfied because there's just not enough of it. And to break the staff of bread was a proverbial expression for cutting off the supply of bread, the staff of life, which is referenced in Psalm 105:16, Ezekiel 4:16, Ezekiel 5:16, Ezekiel 14:13. Compare with Isaiah 3:1. I'm not going to click on that right now. The supply was to be so reduced that one oven would suffice for baking the bread made by 10 women or 10 families. And when made, it was dealt out in sparing rations by weight. Okay. Wow. Okay, verse 27. And if you will not for all this hearken unto me, but walk contrary unto me, then I will walk contrary unto you also in fury. And I, even I, will chastise you 7 times for your sins. And ye shall eat the flesh of your sons, and the flesh of your daughters shall ye eat. Holy moly. Disobedience leads to cannibalism, starvation. You got to be pretty starved to start eating your children. And I will destroy your high places and cut down your images and cast your carcasses upon the carcasses of your idols. And my soul shall abhor you. And I will make your cities waste and bring your sanctuaries unto desolation. And I will not smell the savor of your sweet odors. And I will bring your land into desolation, and your enemies which dwell therein shall be astonished at it. And I will scatter you among the heathen, and will draw out a sword after you, and your land shall be desolate, and your cities waste. Then shall the land enjoy her Sabbaths as long as it lieth desolate, and ye be in your enemy's land. Even then shall the land rest and enjoy her Sabbaths. As long as it lieth desolate, it shall rest, because it did not rest in your Sabbaths when ye dwelt upon it. So if you're not honoring the Sabbath, you're not honoring the Lord and following his commandments, the land doesn't get to rest either during the Sabbath. So God says he'll scatter them everywhere, and then the land will rest in its Sabbaths, because you ain't going to be there. Nobody's going to be there to do anything. That's crazy. Got him back for the membership refund. Cool. As long as it lie desolate, it shall rest, because it did not rest in your Sabbaths when ye dwelt upon it. And upon them that are left alive of you, I will send a faintness into their hearts in the lands of their enemies, and the sound of a shaken leaf shall chase them, and they shall flee as fleeing from a sword, and they shall fall when none pursueth. Even a leaf twittering in the wind will cause you to go and start running because you think an enemy's there. You're going to be afraid. You're going to live in fear if you don't obey God. And they shall fall one upon another as it were before a sword when none pursueth. And ye shall have no power to stand before your enemies. And ye shall perish among the heathen, and the land of your enemies shall eat you up. And they that are left of you shall pine away in their iniquity, in their enemies' lands, and also in the iniquities of their fathers shall they pine away with them. If they shall confess their iniquity and the iniquity of their fathers with their trespass which they trespass against me, and that also they have walked contrary unto me, and that I also have walked contrary unto them, and have brought them into the land of their enemies, if then their uncircumcised hearts be humbled, and they then accept of the punishment of their iniquity, then I will remember my covenant with Jacob, and also my covenant with Isaac, and also my covenant with Abraham will I remember, and I will remember the land. The land also shall be left of them, and shall enjoy her Sabbaths while she lieth desolate without them. And they shall accept of the punishment of their iniquity, because even because they despise my judgments, and because their soul abhorred my statutes. And yet for all that, when they be in the land of their enemies, I will not cast them away, neither will I abhor them to destroy them utterly, and to break my covenant with them, for I am the Lord their God. But I will, for their sakes, remember the covenant of their ancestors, whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt, in the sight of the heathen, that I might be their God. I am the Lord. These are the statutes and judgments and laws which the Lord made between him and the children of Israel in Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses. So see, that's the chapter that one of the things I read said it's possible that this is out of order, and that this chapter was actually supposed to come when Moses, after Exodus 19, I believe, or was it 21? '22. I can't remember where it was. It was Exodus. Can't remember where it was. It was in Exodus where I was confused because it says Moses got the Lord to change his mind. Maybe it's 23. No. Anyway, one of the things I read said that it's possible that that verse was supposed to follow after that, because this does kind of seem out of place. It's talking about Moses on Sinai again. So that's wild. All right. Well, that was chapter 26. That was a powerful one. It gave you all the blessings, started with the blessings, rewards and consequences. The rewards of being obedient to God and his covenant and his judgments. And then what happens if you don't? Everybody knows about the love, but they forget about the wrath. You get comfortable, you get complacent, and then you start to slip. And that's when you find out about the wrath. Dang. All right, let's finish this up. We got one chapter left. Let's finish up Leviticus strong. This chapter is about redeeming the people and the property. Redemption of vows. Is this maybe if they fall away, how they can come back to God and they can redeem themselves? I think so. Sanctification. Chapter 27. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When a man shall make a singular vow, the person shall be for the Lord by thy estimation. And thy estimation shall be of the male from 20 years old, even unto 60 years old. Even thy estimation shall be 50 shekels of silver after the shekel of the sanctuary. And if it be a female, then thy estimation shall be 30 shekels. What does this mean? Their worth? Chapter 27. Let's do commentary. Yeah, let's go to enduring. Let's go to the enduring word. When a man consecrates by a vow a certain person to the Lord, this chapter deals with things that are given to God by a vow. That means they are not required by a command of the law, but the vow was freely promised and given gift to God. In this case, it deals with persons that were promised to the Lord in a vow. A vow is a promise made to God voluntarily and not in obedience to any divine requirement, says Morgan. For example, a man from the tribe of Judah in a time of distress out of gratitude or out of a sense of calling might want to consecrate his son to the Lord. He could not give his son to the service of the tabernacle because he was not a priestly family. So, to consecrate his son, he would follow the procedures in the following verses. When a man consecrates by a vow a certain person to the Lord, the beauty of these commands is that it gives one making a vow of consecration something definite to do. The vow of consecration was far more than mere words. It had definite action, prevented people from making empty vows to God. It was not a sin to refrain from making a vow, but once a vow was made, it had to be kept. If your valuation is of a male from 20 years old to 60 years old, people were assigned value according to their age and general usefulness to society, especially in an agricultural society. There was a definite sense in which a man between 20 and 60 was more valuable than a child 1 month to 5 years old. So age 0 to 4 for a male was worth 5 shekels. 5 to 19 is 20 shekels. 20 to 59 is 50 shekels. 60 and over is 15 shekels. That's for the males. The females are 3, 10, 30, and 10, respectively. The valuation was made mostly in terms of an estimation of the physical labor value of the person. The normal 25-year-old man could do more labor on behalf of the tabernacle than a 5-year-old boy. The price values of the individuals should be understood as representing either the wage of a worker, which was a shekel a month in the biblical period, or the relative worth of value of the person's services in the tabernacle. If the services included heavy manual labor in working with sacrificial animals or in transporting the tabernacle, it is easy to see why young men would be given higher value. Interesting. And if it be from 5 years old to 11 unto 20 years old, then thy estimation shall be of the male 20 shekels and the female 10 shekels. And if it be from a month old even to 5 years old, then thy estimation shall be of the male 5 shekels of silver, and for the female thy estimation shall be 3 shekels of silver. And if it be from 60 years old and above, if it be a male, then thy estimation should be 15 shekels, and for the female 10 shekels. But if he be poorer than thy estimation, then he shall present himself before the priest, and the priest shall value him according to his ability that vowed shall the priest value him. And if it be a beast whereof men bring an offering unto the Lord, all that any man giveth of such unto the Lord shall be holy. He shall not alter it, nor change it, a good for a bad, or a bad for a good. And if he shall at all change beast for beast, then it and the exchange thereof shall be holy. And if it be any unclean beast of which they do not offer a sacrifice unto the Lord, then he shall present the beast before the priest. And the priest shall value it, whether it be good or bad. As thou valuest it, who art the priest, so shall it be. But if he will at all redeem it, then he shall add a 5th part thereof unto thy estimation. And when a man shall sanctify his house to be holy unto the Lord, then the priest shall estimate it, whether it be good or bad. As the priest shall estimate it, so shall it stand. And if he that sanctified it will redeem his house, then he shall add the 5th part of the money of thy estimation unto it, and it shall be his. And if a man shall sanctify unto the Lord some part of the field of his possession, then thy estimation shall be according to the seed thereof. An homer of barley seed shall be valued at 50 shekels of silver. If he sanctify his field from the year of Jubilee according to thy estimation, it shall stand. But if he sanctify his field after the Jubilee, then the priest shall reckon unto him the money according to the years that remain, even unto the year of the Jubilee, and it shall be abated from thy estimation. And if he that sanctify the field will in any wise redeem it, then he shall add the 5th part of the money of thy estimation unto it, and it shall be assured to him. And if he will not redeem the field, or if he have sold the field to another man, it shall not be redeemed any more. But the field, when it goeth out in the Jubilees, shall be holy unto the Lord, as a field devoted. The possessions thereof shall be the priests. And if a man sanctify unto the Lord a field which he hath bought, which is not of the fields of his possession, then the priest shall reckon unto him the worth of thy estimation, even unto the year of the Jubilee, and he shall give thine estimation in that day as a holy thing unto the Lord. And in the year of the Jubilee, the field shall return unto him of whom it was bought, even to him to whom the possession of the land did belong. And all thy estimation shall be according to the shekel of the sanctuary. 20 gerahs shall be the shekel. Only the first line of the beast, which should be the Lord's firstling, no man shall sanctify it, whether it be an ox or sheep, it is the Lord's. And if it be of an unclean beast, then he shall redeem it according to thine estimation, and shall add a fifth part of it thereto. Or if it be not redeemed, then it shall be sold according to thy estimation. Notwithstanding, no devoted thing that a man shall devote unto the Lord of all that he hath, both of man and beast, and of the field of his possession, shall be sold or redeemed. Every devoted thing is most holy unto the Lord. None devoted, which shall be devoted of men, shall be redeemed, but shall surely be put to death. And all the tithe of the land, whether of the seed of the land or of the fruit of the tree, is the Lord's. It is holy unto the Lord. And if a man will at all redeem aught of his tithes, he shall add thereto the fifth part thereof. And concerning the tithe of the herd or of the flock, even of whatsoever passeth under the rod, the 10th shall be holy unto the Lord. He shall not search whether it be good or bad, neither shall he change it. And if he change it at all, then both it and the change thereof shall be holy. It shall not be redeemed. These are the commandments which the Lord commanded Moses for the children of Israel in Mount Sinai. That was a confusing verse. The vows are a confusing chapter. According to the ability of him who vowed, is an animal that men may bring as an offering to the Lord. If an animal was fit or clean for sacrifice and you wanted to redeem it from the vow of consecration to the Lord, perhaps because the animal was especially useful, you could exchange it for another animal as long as that animal was also clean and equally suitable for sacrifice. When a man dedicates his house to the holy Lord with a house, as in with the case of an unclean animal, if a man wanted to consecrate by a vow the house to the Lord while still using it, the priest would set a value on the house. So is this like selling your animals and your property and yourself to the temple? Like, do you get paid this valuation that they're putting on things? After the value of the home was estimated, an additional 20% was added. That total was given to the tabernacle treasury, and the vow was considered fulfilled. Or no, so you had to pay to have your house. So if I wanted to put my house up as a vow to the church, I would have to pay the church the value of my house. Not the church, but the tabernacle. Redeeming land that belongs to a family. If a man dedicates to the Lord part of his field of possession, this deals with land that belongs to the buyer's family or clan, according to the vision of land that would happen later in Joshua 13 through 21. For land, its value was based on its potential production as well as the number of years until the year of Jubilee. If a man dedicates to the Lord a field which he has bought, which is not the field of his possession, this belongs with land that did not belong to the buyer's family or clan, according to the division of land that happens in Joshua 13 through 21. In a sense, the land was not truly purchased, only leased until the next year of Jubilee. This is like property rights and dedicating your property to the church. One cannot redeem things or persons devoted to the Lord. Nevertheless, no devoted offering that a man may devote to the Lord of all that he has, both man and beast, or the field of his possession, shall be sold or redeemed. Every devoted offering is most holy to the Lord. No person under under the ban, who may become doomed to destruction among men, shall be redeemed, but shall be surely put to death. For these reasons, an item devoted to God could not be redeemed for a price. It already belonged to the Lord and had to be given to him. Put to death. In this sense, also, one could not escape execution by being bought back from the Lord. They had to face their fate or their penalty. An example of this is found in 1 Samuel 15, where King Saul was commanded to bring God's judgment against the Amalekites. They were devoted and doomed to destruction. Saul failed to do this and greatly displeased the Lord. So wait, did the Amalekites, they were devoted and doomed to destruction to the Lord. The law mentioned in these two verses has been appealed to by the enemies of divine revelation as a proof that under the Mosaic dispensation, human sacrifices were offered to God. But this can never be conceded. Had there been such a law, it certainly would have been more explicitly revealed and not left in the compass of a few words only, where meaning is very difficult to be ascertained and the words themselves differently translate by most interpreters. And this is specifically, no person under the ban who may become doomed to destruction among men shall be redeemed, but shall surely be put to death. So see, the Amalekites were already doomed to be destroyed, and there's nothing that anybody could do about that because God had already determined it. And so when it happened, they couldn't be bought back. They couldn't be redeemed. There was no hope for them. They were devoted to be destroyed by God. 30. And all the tithes of the land, whether the seed of the land or the fruit of the tree, is the Lord's. It is holy to the Lord. If a man wants at all to redeem any of his tithes, he shall add 1/5 to it. In this context, the tithe simply means the 10th or 10%. Israel gave 10% of their flocks, of their grain, and of their fruit to God. This tithe, the 10%, was sacred and separated unto God. The word tithe, ma'aser, is related to the number 10, which is eser, and thus refers to a tenth. The concept of the tithe was not a new one for the Israelites, since we observed the practice before the giving of the law in Genesis 14:20. Yeah, we talked about that. Thus, what we have in Leviticus 27 is a systemization of an earlier practice. Ancient Israel observed at least two tithes. Here in Leviticus 27, 30, and 33 is the general tithe, which also seems to be described in Deuteronomy 14, 22 through 27. Deuteronomy 14, 28 through 29 describes a second tithe paid every 3 years and given to the Levite and to the poor. Some believe Leviticus 27, 30 to 33 and Deuteronomy 14, 22 to 27 describe two different required tithes, but there is no compelling reason to think they are different. While the New Testament does not command or emphasize tithing, it presents giving as a duty for God's people and does not speak negatively of tithing. Jesus approved of the careful tithing of the religious leaders of his day. Luke 11:42. How do I get this off? But woe to you, Pharisees, for you tithe mint and rue and all manner of herbs, and pass by justice and the love of God. These you ought to have done without leaving the others undone. So it's okay to tithe, but don't forget about the justice and the love of God. They're not mutually exclusive. You should do both, but the love of God is more important. Giving is commanded and is not an option in 1 Corinthians 16, 1 and 2. Now concerning the collection for the saints, as I have given orders to the churches of Galatia, so you must do also. On the first day of the week, let each one of you lay something aside, storing up as he may prosper, that there be no collections when I come. That's Paul writing to the Corinthians. Giving is to be regular, planned, and proportional. It should never be manipulated. True giving comes as we first give ourselves to the Lord, then we will give our financial resources as we should. And that's comes from 2 Corinthians 8:5. Giving cannot be commanded by any individual believer at a particular moment, not even by an apostle. 2 Corinthians 8:18. Giving is a valid test of sincerity of our love for God and others. Giving should be seen as investing money, not spending money. This I say, but this is 2 Corinthians 9:6. But this I say, he who sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, but he who sows bountifully will also reap bountifully. Now, you got to be careful with this stuff because this is where you get prosperity gospel. Some preachers will take all of this and they'll take it way too far, and they're not actually investing that money in God. That money's not going to God. It's going to buy them some new rims and a private jet. So you got to be. I do believe tithing and all of that stuff is good and it's something we should do. But we also need to know that our church is righteous and that we're not just giving it to some mega church pastor who's going to, spend it on degenerate stuff. Giving must always include giving to the ministries that directly feed us spiritually. Because the New Testament emphasis is on giving more than tithing, there is no one answer to the question, how much am I supposed to give? Many people go back to the Old Testament law of the tithe. Since giving is to be proportional, we should be giving some percentage, and 10% is a good benchmark, a starting place. We should have the attitude of some early Christians who essentially said, we're not under the tithe, we can give more. Giving and financial management are spiritual issues, not only financial issues. Now, see, a lot of people have a bad taste in their mouth about this because they've seen the mega churches and they've seen the prosperity gospel guys. And so they think that, and I'm sure there's a lot of crooked churches that are not doing good things with the tithing money. That's why I say, it doesn't all have to be about money. You can give your time, you can give your energy, you can give time to studying and learning about God, time to prayer, time to ministry, or just energy and focus. Time is money. Catholics have their own laws, not the normal laws. Church gives to those that give. Church gives to those that give. Right. I agree with all of that. It's just there are some crooked churches and there are some crooked preachers and pastors who, the Billy Graham types, the Kent Hovind type, or the is it Kent Hovind? Blow the winds of God. Who's that guy? Is that Kent Hovind? I might be thinking of the wrong name. Billy Graham, and I did a whole thing about prosperity gospel and false healers. Usually they're one and the same. Usually the fake healers are also prosperity gospel guys. And they'll say, look, I'm going to make your leg grow. And they do the trick where your one leg is a little lower. And that one dude with the dreadlocks, we talked about him. I forget his name. But a lot of these mega church guys have left a foul taste in people's mouth when it comes to tithing. And people are anti-tithing now because they've seen what some of these churches do. But I think it is righteous, but you just need to, you need to know that it's going to the right things. I think that's about it. So we broke down the vows and the tithes a little more. Vows to the a covenant vow to the church, and the tithing and all of that stuff, and how to redeem the tithing. So the end of Leviticus was all about tithes there. But that's it. That's it for Leviticus, guys. We're done with Leviticus. Tomorrow's Friday. I think I'm going to skip the gym tomorrow because I need to go get some groceries. So I might probably just get groceries after work and take a Uber home. And then maybe start a little earlier. or maybe around the same time. But I'll try to start like a half an hour earlier at like 10 o'clock. And we can get started on numbers. I'm not going to do a long one tomorrow because I want to get some sleep before VK and do the Friday night stream. But we have the Friday night stream tomorrow. Whether or not VK happens, I hope it does. But whether it does or doesn't, I will be streaming Friday night as usual. You know, panel prattle, panel madness. Saturday night we got fight night. We got some UFC fights this weekend. What do we got this weekend? Kape versus Alamabayev. Cody Brundage is fighting. Yeah, looks like we got another decent fight card. Main card starts at 5 p.m. I'll try to wake up early enough to catch the main card. Try to start streaming by 5. It's just depends on what time I get to bed. Actually, I was planning on going to that protest this Saturday. I don't know. I might make it. I might not. There's a protest this Saturday, an immigration one, and I was hoping to go to that, but I found out about it on short notice. I skipped all my exercise last weekend, got me. Did people actually believe that stuff? What, the healing stuff? Some people believe it, yeah. It's wild. I did a show about it. You were probably there when I talked about it, Dean. But I don't know. Saturday, what might happen is Friday night I might cut the stream early and then get some sleep, and then Saturday go down to that protest, and then fight night I probably miss the fight card because I'll sleep through it. We'll start fight night a little later at like 10 o'clock instead of 5 o'clock. I'm not sure, but regardless, I will definitely be streaming Friday and Saturday night. Just not sure how long I'm going to go Friday and which fights, if I'm going to be able to even watch the fights on Saturday, but we'll still have a panel Saturday night for sure. It's just, am I going to be able to make it to that protest? It's an immigration reform protest. They want immigration reform. So I was going to go down to that. We'll see. It's going to be a busy weekend regardless, but tomorrow I'll probably Uber home, get my groceries, Uber home, and we start on numbers. The first couple chapters of numbers is a bit of a grind because it's the first census. So there's a lot of begets. There's basically just record keeping, how long each person in each tribe lived, and the numbers of the tribes, how many people were in each tribe. And then they organize the way that the tribes are set up around the tabernacle. And that's like the first chunk of numbers. Then the middle chunk of numbers is the 40 years in the desert, when they they wander through the desert for 40 years. Then once they settle and Moses gets angry at them, they start to rebel again. Moses gets angry with them. And I think it's in Numbers when Moses gets told that he can't come into the promised land. Then there's a second census after wandering in the desert. And I forget the numbers. It's going to be interesting to see if the numbers are less or more, if they are reproducing more while they're wandering. I'm sure it should be that the numbers are much less because there's some battles and things like that. But if God is giving them, making them fruitful and they're multiplying while they're wandering for the 40 years, they might have more population after the 40 years in the desert. But we'll see all that. And then we have Balaam's donkey is in Numbers. And so that's that's numbers. That's what we're most likely going to get started on tomorrow. I don't know. If I'm tired, I might cancel tomorrow and we might start it. No, I'll try to start numbers tomorrow. That's the goal, at least. A lot of plans, and I don't want to make promises because, then I like to get my sleep on the weekends. So I'm not making any promises, just throwing all my plans out there for you guys of what the weekend's potentially going to look like. But regardless, I will be here Friday night and I will be here Saturday night streaming. If VK happens, I'll be on VK for sure. That's for sure. But that's the plan. Let me see if there's anybody streaming. Where'd we go yesterday, Joel? I'm not. I'll send you over to Grid 1. Say what up to Grid 1 for me. I got to go, guys. I'm late in. At least have a look before the protest. 3 books complete. Stay with it. Oh yeah, we're going to do all of them eventually. Hopefully the goal is within a year to get through all of it. So by January of next year, hopefully we'll be wrapping it up. But say what up to Grid 1. God bless you guys. I will see you tomorrow morning. But we out. Peace.